Welcome! Today we will be going over the specifics of multiple choice questions to make sure you and your learners are getting the most out of them. To create a multiple choice question, create a text node by clicking the A icon and click on Add Response for a text question or Add Image Response for an image question. We will start with text questions. Once you have turned a text node into a text question, take a look at the controls. This question type allows you to create a list of choices where the learner is prompted to pick a response from. Text questions are the same as the multiple choice questions the PA makes. But if you are making them manually, be sure to give points for the correct answer, which is usually 2 points in the respective LO, as well as in-character feedback. Also be sure to mark the responses as either correct or incorrect, where incorrect answers should score less than the correct, such as 1 or 0 points. Scoring specifics will be covered in a different video. This is the response category toggle. A set of responses can be set as factual or opinion by toggling the response category button. If the set of responses is set to factual, a response quality button will appear to the right of each response. This can be toggled to be either correct or incorrect to signify whether an answer is right or wrong. Set the responses to opinion if there isn't a totally right or wrong answer. We recommend that you use opinion-based questions when you don't need the responses to be scored. This is the loop on incorrect toggle. A set of responses can be set to continue or loop by toggling the On Incorrect button. If you want learners to be presented with the same question again if they get it wrong, toggle the On Incorrect button from Continue to Loop. If the button is set to loop, when the learner gets an answer wrong, the activity will play through that response's feedback. The response's score will be applied to the learner's overall objective scores, and the learner will loop back up, and the same prompt will be displayed again, this time without the incorrect response they chose previously. One important thing to note is that only non-branching factual questions can loop on incorrect. This is what a loop on incorrect question looks like. As you can see, I got the question wrong and I'm brought back up to the same question again, but the response I already chose is gone. This is the toggle to show or hide a correct answer. By default, this is set to hide. Unless discussed in the in-character feedback, a learner wouldn't know what the correct answer to a question is. I am setting the toggle to show to demonstrate what the learner would see. As you can see, the correct response is clearly stated. This is the toggle to remove a chosen response when revisited. We use this when the activity has branches that connect back to the main storyline in a place that repeats the question. There are more details about this in the story looping and branching video. In the settings panel, there is a place to check random response order. Turning random response on will randomize the order of responses in all response nodes. Best practices are to leave this off when developing, so that colleagues can know the correct answer without necessarily having expertise in the subject area. However, learners may pick up on the fact that the correct answer is always first, so we recommend that authors turn it on before publishing. However, if there is a specific question that should not have responses randomized, you can use the response order toggle to lock the responses in place by selecting Locked. That way, you can turn on random response order in settings, but this question will not change. Now we will move on to image response questions and the associated controls. Once you have turned a text node into an image response question by clicking Add Image Response, take a look at the controls. Image response questions allow activities to ask questions using images, animated GIFs, and mathematical formulas as the answers rather than plain text. An image response question works best with 2 or 4 responses. By default, there are 2 responses, but to allow more responses, click the button of 4 icons under Match Layout. To choose an image to be used as a response, click the Add Image button. To create a mathematical formula to be used for a response, or to edit an existing formula, click the Add Formula button. SmartChat reads formulas written in the LaTeX coding language, which we will be covering in detail in a separate video. Entering text into the caption field is rarely needed, and it adds student-facing plain text on a yellow background to the bottom of the image response. Entering text in the image description for screen readers field will add text that will be read to students using accessibility software or devices. This is what an image response, multiple choice question looks like from a learner's perspective. You will notice some additional toggles when you select an image response multiple choice. One of them is matching, which is only available with 4 images. Image response questions can be set to either have a single correct response or to act as a matching exercise where the learner is asked multiple times to choose the image or formula that matches the prompt associated with that image as the correct response. To toggle between these options, click the on and off buttons under Matching. When you turn Matching on, a text box will appear under Match Prompt. The learner is asked a question for each image response before proceeding to the next node. One image response is correct for its associated prompt, and the other responses are incorrect. You should put the question associated in the Match Prompt text box above the correct answer. In this way, the image matches the prompt as that answer is correct when its corresponding prompt is asked. Enter the feedback that will appear if the student chooses the image that matches the prompt in the correct feedback fields along with the objective scores they will earn to the right. Enter the feedback that will appear if the student chooses a different image that does not match the prompt in the incorrect feedback fields. We recommend you preview from location to get a sense of how your prompts, responses, and feedback play from the perspective of the learner. The other additional toggle you will see with image response multiple choice is Results Remain After Question. By default, content on the right needed on a node is removed after that node has been completed. In this case, the images disappear after the student responds and is given feedback to show the background image. If you toggle Results Remain After Question on, the results of the images will remain even after it is resolved. This is used when you want to reference the images shown in question later in the activity or discuss the resulting image. If you place a new image node or background node in the future, it will replace the image associated with this image response node. That concludes our in-depth video of multiple choice questions. Thanks for watching.